Welcome to another episode of Spelling Bee Ninja, where we dive into the rich tapestry of history to uncover fascinating stories of our past. Today, we journey into the heart of the Ottoman Empire, a powerful and influential realm that shaped the pages of world history. If you love learning about ancient empires, sultans, and cultural achievements, you're in the right place. Don't forget to subscribe to our podcast for more enlightening content, and let's embark on this historical adventure together. The story of the Ottoman Empire begins with its founder, Osman I, who lived from around 1258 to 1326. Osman was not just a leader, he was the visionary who transformed a small Anatolian principality into a vast empire that would eventually span 3 continents. Succeeding his father, Ertugrul, as the leader of the Kei tribe of Oghuz Turks around 1281, Osman declared independence from the declining Seljuk Sultanate of Rum. This declaration marked the birth of the Ottoman dynasty, establishing a legacy that would influence countless generations. Osman's followers became known as Osmanlis, or Ottomans. His most notable conquest was the city of Bursa in 1326, shortly before his death, which became the empire's first major capital. This set the stage for the incredible rise of a powerful new state. Fast forward to May 29, 1453, a date that echoes through history. This was the day when Sultan Mehmed II, famously dubbed Mehmed the Conqueror, led his army against the majestic city of Constantinople after a grueling 53-day siege. At just 21 years old, Mehmed showcased his strategic brilliance by employing massive cannons, including the Grand Basilica cannon designed by Orban. He even engineered the transportation of ships overland on grease logs to outflank the city's defenses. The fall of Constantinople not only marked the end of the Byzantine Empire but also set Istanbul as the new capital of the Ottomans. Sadly, during this fateful assault, Byzantine Emperor Constantine XI lost his life defending his city, a poignant moment that signified the collapse of an ancient empire. Under the reign of Suleiman I, known in the west as Suleiman the Magnificent and in the east as Suleiman the Lawgiver, the Ottoman Empire reached its peak. Suleiman ruled from 1520 to 1566, marking the longest reign of any Ottoman sultan. His era was distinguished by significant military conquests, including the capture of Belgrade in 1521 and Rhodes in 1522. Most notably, during the Battle of Mohacs in 1526, he expanded the empire further into Hungary. Suleiman was not only a conqueror but also a reformer. He codified Ottoman law, revamped the tax system, and supported the arts. His grand architectural projects, led by the brilliant Mimar Sinan, symbolized the empire's sophistication. However, his failed siege of Vienna in 1529 revealed the limits of Ottoman expansion, being the first major setback for the empire in Europe. Central to the military might of the Ottomans were the Janissaries, elite infantry formed from the Divserm system, which required Christian boys from the Balkans to be conscripted, converted to Islam, and trained for service. The Janissaries were well regarded for their loyalty and discipline, becoming an integral part of the Ottoman military and political landscape. Established during the reign of Orhan I, the Janissary Corps significantly shaped the power dynamics within the empire, serving as both an instrument of Sultan's authority and, at times, a formidable force against reforms. They played a pivotal role in various battles and were instrumental in maintaining Ottoman dominance for many years, although their later resistance to modernization ultimately hindered reforms within the empire. A critical moment in naval history, the Battle of Lepanto on October 7, 1571, was a landmark engagement between the Ottoman Empire and the Holy League, a coalition of Catholic maritime states including Spain, Venice, and the Papal States. Commanded by Don John of Austria, the Holy League decisively defeated the Ottoman fleet, marking a significant shift in naval supremacy in the Mediterranean. Although the Ottomans quickly rebuilt their navy, this defeat cost them over 200 ships and around 30,000 lives. Notably, the famous Spanish writer Miguel de Cervantes, who would later pen Don Quixote, fought in this battle and famously proclaimed it as the most memorable occasion in history, highlighting the battle's importance to contemporary Europe. One of the great architects of the Ottoman Empire was Mimar Sinan, who lived from about 1488 to 1588. Appointed as the chief architect during the reigns of Suleiman the Magnificent and his successors, Sinan's influence on Ottoman architecture is monumental. Over a span of 50 years, he designed and built over 475 structures, including mosques, bridges, and schools. His most famous work, the Selimiye Mosque in Edirne, features a breathtaking dome that rivals that of the Hagia Sophia. Sinan masterfully introduced the octagonal buttress dome system, which became a defining characteristic of Ottoman architecture. His contributions were not just in construction, they reflected the empire's aspirations and identity. Interestingly, Sinan himself was conscripted into the Janissaries through the Devshirme system, showcasing the complexity of social mobility within the empire. The Second Siege of Vienna in 1683 was another critical episode in the history of the Ottoman Empire. The empire, under the leadership of Grand Vizier Kara Mustafa Pasha, launched a massive assault on the Habsburg capital with around 150,000 troops. However, Vienna's defenders, numbering only around 20,000, showcased remarkable bravery and strategic acumen. The siege ended dramatically with the arrival of a Polish-German relief force led by King John III Sobieski, who executed the largest cavalry charge in history, comprising about 18,000 horsemen. This event marked a turning point, as it began the period of territorial decline for the Ottomans while heralding a resurgence of Habsburg power in Europe. The millet system was a remarkable aspect of Ottoman governance that provided a unique administrative framework for managing diverse religious communities within the empire. Established formally after the conquest of Constantinople, the system allowed non-Muslim groups, such as the Greek Orthodox, Armenian, and Jewish communities, to govern their personal status, family law, and education under their religious leaders. Each community collected taxes and represented itself to the Sultan, promoting an atmosphere of relative religious tolerance that distinguished the Ottoman state from many contemporaneous regimes. This dynamic contributed to the empire's stability and cohesion, highlighting the sophisticated administrative practices that enabled the Ottomans to rule a diverse population across vast territories. Selim I, known as Selim the Grim, ascended the throne from 1512 to 1520 and was pivotal in expanding Ottoman influence into the Middle East. His brief tenure saw the defeat of the Safavid Persian Empire at the Battle of Calderon and the conquest of the Mamluk Sultanate of Egypt, which granted the Ottomans control over the vital Islamic holy cities of Mecca and Medina. After capturing Cairo, the Abbasid Caliph renounced his title and bestowed it upon Selim, cementing Ottoman authority over the Islamic world. The Battle of Redania effectively ended Mamluk rule and exemplified the rapid territorial gains made during this transformative period for the empire. The Ottoman Empire's storied legacy ended on November 1, 1922, when the Grand National Assembly of Turkey abolished the Sultanate, leading to the exile of the last Ottoman Sultan, Mehmed VI. Following its siding with the Central Powers during World War I and subsequent defeat, the empire faced rapid political and social upheaval. Under the leadership of Mustafa Kemal, later known as Ataturk, the Turkish War of Independence led to the establishment of the Republic of Turkey on October 29, 1923. The Treaty of Lausanne, signed in 1923, further recognized the new republic and marked the definitive dissolution of the Ottoman Empire. This transition represented not just the end of a political entity but the rebirth of a nation shaped by its rich and complicated past. In today's episode, we explored the rise and fall of the Ottoman Empire, from its foundation by Osman I to the dramatic conquests under Mehmed II and Suleiman I. We've learned about the elite Janissaries, the victories and setbacks in pivotal battles such as Lepanto and Vienna, and the innovative millet system which managed its diverse communities. We've also seen how architecture flourished under Mimar Sinan and how Selim I expanded the empire into the heart of the Middle East. Finally, we reflected on the legacy of the Ottoman Empire and its profound impact on the world as we know it today. Thank you for joining us on this enlightening journey through the Ottoman Empire. We hope you found today's episode engaging and informative. Don't forget to subscribe to Spelling Bee Ninja for more incredible stories from history, and join us next time as we continue to uncover the fascinating tales that have shaped our world. Until then, keep exploring, keep learning, and remember, history is always waiting to be discovered.